Mm. Mm.
All right, we are live.
We are voices of the divine. Hearts awaken, we don't deny. Truth is calling deep inside. No more fear, no more divide. We've seen the shadows, felt the pain, but we're not here to live in shame. The fire's rising in our soul, a higher purpose taking hold. Divine GPMS, feel the call. We rise together, we're standing tall. This is more than just a name. We are here to spark the flame. Add your energy, take your stand. Then healing flows through every hand. This is how the shift is done. We all unite and rise as one. No more shouting at the pain. We're the ones who bring the change. We're not just seeing what is wrong, we're creating something strong. From the ashes, from the dust, we're building something built on trust. Every soul that signs their name adds their light into the flame. Divine GPMS, feel the call. We rise together and standing tall. This is more than just a name. We are here to spark the flame. Add your energy, take your stand. Then the healing flows through every hand. This is how the shift is done. Now ascension has begun. Every signature it sure is a spark, lighting up the darkest dark. We don't wait for change to come. We lead the way, uniting as one. Divine GPMS, lead the way. Hearts awaken to save the day. Feel the truth in every breath. We are life, we conquer death. Add your energy, take your place. This is love, the world will fade. This is how the shift is done. Heaven on earth has now begun.
Woo!
Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide. As outlined on the consenting website of Divine-gpms.world, it is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on April 26, 2026, and we are on divine-gpms.org meeting. We have with us people from all over the world. I'm saying people, but they are brave souls that contribute to make the change. We are not waiting for the change. We make the change to happen. And we have with us also Rick George, still living in Romania. He's high priest of Melchizedek order with us on earth, and he developed a lot of GPMS before even we started to be here. Hi, Rick. So all the time the ascension, it is extremely important, but right now more and more people and videos started to share that will be an event, and you told us that nobody knows when the event may happen. At the same time, some people are saying the Babylon will fail just until July 4th, 2026, but after that, something beautiful will happen. So, on my opinion, as I know, the world today, it is still aligned on the pyramid system with artificial laws, and it's still aligned with money, limited money, and silver and gold, that it's not about intrinsic value. So what can we say and about this ascension, because we need more people to add their energy, exactly as the song is saying, to everything that GPMS is doing, and start to see we have an intrinsic value that is nothing about gold and silver, and we just need to ascend. The ascension is real. The crystallization of the body is real, and where we are exactly with the ascension now. And if you may believe that more people start to see the truth, or the system still collapse, so what is happening, and what may be, on your opinion, the time when probably will be a relief?
Thank you, Sister Beatrice. And I need to begin and mention what I mentioned before we went live. All of you are so beautiful and younger looking today, and it's very important and significant because it indicates a shift in reality and in the timeline. So you're beginning to see here today the effects of the new timeline and the new earth we're going towards. It is important for everyone with the few things that Sister Beatrice mentioned about other beliefs, about limited beliefs, not to put your focus there. Divine GPMS is the only thing that takes humanity forward into the heaven on earth scenario. So it's important to keep your focus on divine GPMS and sharing it out. And it's each one's choice what you wish to believe. However, I need to give you the full truth that there are many false narratives out there that are done by what's left of the resistance in the darkness to lead ones astray. Nothing can offer you your full freedom in heaven on earth other than divine GPMS. This comes directly from Father God, and it's for this ascension. Anything involved in the old world of commerce, trading, finance, all of that does not exist in this new world. So it becomes frivolous to even engage more so into that once you know that divine GPMS exists and that it is the heaven on earth being anchored, it is the exit out of the matrix. This can occur at any time. It's important not to put expectations on when things will occur, because what I say is in the blink of an eye, we can be in that divine Divine-gpms.world. And this is not a cultist fantasy belief. This is very real as we substantiated everything over time as we go forward. And for the most part, worldwide, most of those that are advanced in the consciousness knows that the darkness and any of their old paradigm uh, power regimes cannot exist where we're going. And it's important to keep your focus on your individual ascension aligned with the heaven on earth instrument, which is Divine-gpms.world. Now, I mentioned about 3 weeks or a month ago that Father has said we are very close. And what I need to say to this respect is that if you were to look at the numbers of GPMS from a human logic, you may say we're a long way away. But what I need to put here for clarity is that what is occurring with this ascension, it does not mean that all 8 billion on the planet are going forward. We have been in this great time of trials and tribulations, and where ones needed to make choices on what they wanted for their existence and for their world. And once they chose GPMS, they become aligned with the heaven on earth. And let's say GPMS has been given to the world to make the choice for about 5 years now. And some of the first ones 4 or 5 years ago that entered GPMS, not everyone was perfect, but once you enter, it energetically sets off your own purification and your self-judgment by the choices that you make. So it's important to know that the integrity, the purity, the innocence, the joyfulness, the peacefulness, the knowing, and reaching for that freedom and that heaven on earth. And this is what makes it happen quicker. It doesn't necessarily mean with GTMS that we need the majority of the numbers on the website. And that's why this could happen at any time. It can go viral, or there also could be the flashpoint. Anything from the old system, what you see here, does not exist in the future. And there is that spiritual battle with the darkness to control and buy souls with false narratives and getting back. That's why I say drop all of that, keep aligned with divine GPMS. That's where we're going and bringing the full heaven on earth, nothing less than this. And that's important again because GPMS is the ultimate. So we continue forward with this, and it is very real. It is absolutely real, and we are in the times of the ascension. And as I mentioned earlier, a significant change about 3 days ago in the timeline. Uh, you are seeing the effects for the higher timelines. Ones are having confirmations, and one is the nectar beginning to come out of certain one's hands, sudden youthfulness, sudden weight loss for some of us that had to put on some extra weight to ground our energy, or we could have been ascended long ago. So divine works in very mysterious and always good and brilliant and benevolent ways. And it is very real with that. So, uh, everyone at this point should be in great places of joy, knowing that it can occur at any moment. And again, what is written, which I love in the Bible because I do agree with it, is that no one knows the hour, but be prepared for it. And that's what all of us are uh, prepared for. And different realities do exist. There's a lot of documentation of that and a lot of witnesses and experiences. So what we are talking about here with going to another new world, this is not far-fetched at all. It is very real, and it's been documented with individuals um, vanishing and having experiences, divine and profound experiences over the course of time in all nations or in all peoples, if you will. All ethnic groups, all races, all creeds have to some form experienced this. So we're not talking delusional things. We are talking and speaking the truth because this is the truth. So instead of rambling, I'll just stop right there. Thank you.
Yes, there is a question, for example, for the people that they were able to ascend towards the fifth dimension, or they are on the fourth dimension, but very, very advanced towards the fifth. When the flashpoint happens, this is something that basically there is any chance for these people to pass away, or they are protected because they are in another timeline, like on the fifth dimension already or higher?
This depends on an individual basis, what you are asking. And will this be a rapture event, a sudden instantaneous event, or will it be a rapid succession to it? This still is for an eye not given. And that's why I say when we use GPMS as an example, it's important to get as many consents in there as soon as possible, because this also set off the viral virality with the consents that makes it happen as well. So it can happen in the blink of an eye or very rapidly. The importance of every individual, what you have here on Earth with consciousness levels, you have a lot of uh, the resistance, or what you call false light. They'll be speaking higher things like what I speak about, because they use that for their benefit to manipulate and control ones. So it doesn't necessarily mean if one says they're coming from fifth, sixth, seventh dimension of consciousness, it doesn't mean that they are genuine and authentic. You need to remember the number one rule, that the darkness were the masters of deception and that they lie. That's why in this important time, everyone that needs to know about the darkness, how you evaluate one is through their actions and deeds, not necessarily what they say, because the darkness lies. So they'll say at times the right things to lure one's away to believe something else. But this is where you need to use your utmost discernment at recognizing they might be saying all the right things, but are they doing it? And in actuality, no, the false prophets and the resistance of the darkness, no, they have an agenda to control humanity and to keep looshing their energy and to keep them in an enslavement environment, if you will. And that's not what we are doing. That's why everyone needs to be objective and use your utmost discernment. What may appear as a higher consciousness one, no, remember the darkness will mimic and it will lie. So you need to be very meticulous in your evaluation and your discernment. But more importantly, what we are looking for and what we do is the alignment of the genuine like-minded. And when you have us with GPMS, you have it fully written what the divine plan is. It's fully transparent. It is logic. It is sense. It is common sense. And everyone that is aligned with their heart, they feel GPMS and they know it, these ones. Yes, there's more to come that are going through their their own tests and their own higher choices. But what I say as well, it necessarily doesn't mean that we need all of them right in the numbers right now, because what can occur as long as they believe in God and are utmost moral ones, that poof, in a rapture, they get brought along because they are already aligned with doing everything right. Even though they may not be in the GPMS numbers, these are ones that have purified themselves and are part of the whole thing. So, for example, we could say we have today almost 403,000 consents in GPMS. But let's say in 24 hours, if a rapture event occurs, we could be up there with 5.9 billion. So it's important to know also we need to continue at gathering these consents worldwide because it's energetic and it's a creational value that also activates and triggers the flashpoint. So the more that you have together with the collective consciousness in alignment with GPMS, there is that co-creator status and ability that occurs that creates the new reality as well. So it's also why we say we already have the majority on Earth. You have perhaps over 90% of the people on Earth at least know they should not be suffering, that this is not right with it. And they have no trust in the present rulers that you have, the power regime. because it's obvious with their actions what they're doing. They are continuing to make people suffer. Things are becoming more expensive because that is also part of their plan to squeeze and compress and control humanity. So humanity is also allowed to see this as well so that they make the higher choices sooner than later. And also, we have what we call on Earth a huge divine ground crew. And these are all of the light workers and divine ones and more that ones don't even know that's here yet. But the thing is the quicker they become part of GPMS as well, the quicker that it happens. But you have what is the veil of forgetfulness that that occurs with ones, even though they may be in alignment or what have you. But when the darkness makes huge fear um, um, programs worldwide and huge suffering, it even drops some of the light workers' consciousness that is not advanced enough yet. Then they do not know of the full mission, the reason why they're here, and to identify that divine GPMS is their mission. This is the heaven on earth. This is why they're still here, even though they've done all their purity. They're tired of this world. They're ready to go, but they're not in alignment with their mission and the divine plan, which is divine GPMS that does it. So you have all of these different levels of consciousness. And again, they've got to change their focus on what they're looking at. They're surviving and adapting to an old world that's not going to exist. But what they need to do is shift their focus from trying to survive in that world and align it with their mission and the reason why they came and with the heaven on earth that we're doing. It's easy to say. I just said it here in a few moments, but it is difficult in the past. I don't want to create it for even light workers to identify what divine GPMS is and the reason that they are here at this time on Earth, the reason that everything is happening, all of the different disasters, all of the civil unrest, all of the insanity and killing from the rulers, the old rulers of this world. Everything is culminating to be seen. Very importantly, as I've said before, about the meteorites, and as we're seeing, more of those are coming down because they are part of what was written in the Bible, even though the Bible was manipulated to certain areas, it still holds core truths and things that are very real for this time. I just shared on my Facebook profile a short video about I forget his name, just speaking about the two significant X flares the other day, which was part of a very important divine activation that we were doing prior without going into detail. But in that short video, I believe I think he says since March over Europe, there's been more than 80 fireballs sighted in the sky. And one of the most recent ones, if I have this correct, he said it come right straight down in Europe. Now, these are, I don't need any glory or what have you, but it's important when I say things to take it as a confirmation, to know that GPMS is very real, and what we're doing with the ascension, all of this is very real. You're getting your actual physical and visual confirmations of all of these things. So it's a time for anyone not to have any doubt and get in alignment and consent and join with GPMS as soon as possible. And all of our beautiful children, no matter if they're 1 minute old, these beautiful souls are part of the new world. They are that generation to continue and take it forward for humanity, to preserve the beautiful human playground and experience in a beautiful new world. And that's this world, what's outside of you right now. And it's what we're doing, and it's what we're going to do. We have the full ability, once the money is shared by all, to very quickly transition this world into a pristine planet. All of the technology is already here, all of the architecture, and much more. The only thing is who is controlling the money and controlling humanity and limiting them, which is the actual resistance. So this is being flipped, the money given to the people in the people's hands to quickly distribute it and do the good and right things with it that eradicates all suffering, poverty, and lack. Then, once humanity is all together in this new world, you don't need money at all. But this is part of the rapid transitioning to it. And as I state right now, with what Father God, Prime Creator, has given us right from this moment, right here, within 24 hours, once we're in the divine GPMS world, everyone is receiving huge amounts of instant money in their accounts, as well as all essential goods and services providers topped up with unlimited access to money and unlimited access to present resources to advance humanity quickly forward. Everything is already here on Earth to do divine GPMS, except these things with the internet and the money making is just still in the wrong hands, where ones are thinking that they are the only ones. So this transitioning, people have to shift their focus to divine GPMS to know that actually money wouldn't exist if you don't exist, and you are the actual source of value, not banks and governments. They have pricked your value from you so that they could control you. Just to keep it simple. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will ask Joshua to speak. Hi, Joshua. He's from Uganda, and I know that the internet there, it's all the time making problems. Joshua, you wanted to speak directly on the meeting. You told me yesterday via Messenger. So he was with us before the meeting. Lodi. Hi, sister, again, after only some hours. So Lodi Filipinit is extremely important for GPMS and is leading the world in these divine times. And we had a discussion last night, and you told me about a radio station there that do not allow you to speak after more than one time and try to to divert the discussion. Do not speak about GPMS. And also, what is happening with GPMS in Philippines at this time too? Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity to share something. Uh, right now, I'm still receiving some list from certain brothers and sisters that are still actively collecting names from different communities in the whole archipelago of the Philippines. but not that much as before. And what I have been observing with some Filipino brothers and sisters that I have somehow extensively shared about GPMS and the ascension, um, I think that they are going on their individual, say, journey or spiritual growth after hearing that GPMS and ascension goes hand in hand, especially with the guardians and representatives. So, um, I think they are having this challenges or the process of uh clearing their minds and releasing themselves from the limiting beliefs. They are um absorbing what I have shared with them, and also from the updates and the posts from Rick's Facebook accounts, which some I translated in Tagalog and sharing it to some group chats and also with the Facebook page of the Philippines GPMS team. So we all know that the light has already won, and we are um just going through the last stage or the end of the process. So I think some of the guardians representatives are just undergoing their individual process of ascension. Um, they are not for now actively um, doing the legworks for GPMS, not like before, but I do believe that energetically the numbers of the collective is rising very, very fast, and we are going forwards and upwards. And hopefully this year won't end, and we are on the completion stage of phase one for GPMS. Thank you. That's all I can share.
Thank you so much, Lodi. Yes, Joshua. Oh, just a little bit, Rick. Would you like to tell us something?
Yes, probably I've been disturbed by the network. As you know, Sister Beatrice, here in Uganda, it always disturbs us network. As you know very well, what happened here in Uganda last time, we had two groups. We wanted to come up with at least a good, clear information or good, clear program about GPMS to spread it here in Uganda, but unfortunately, we had some problems about our groups with the other people of Kisitu Den and then Ligan. So my beautiful sister, I don't know how we can do it, but we can resume it, and we can at least begin at a zero level where I can at least have something to build up here in my community. So I don't know how we can do it, but I'm ready to spread GPMS here in Uganda as we had it, but unfortunately we did not have time or we did not have that chance of spreading it because some of our friends were just fighting because of the money, as you know it, but they were not uh, quite good about our program we had last time about how to spread GPMS here in Uganda. So, my sister, I don't know, but I'm just requesting if we have a clear program or a clear information with how to spread the GPMS program here in Uganda. I'm ready to do it in my community, in my district, in my village. So I don't know, but it's fine that we are still alive. We can have a clear information or a clear program about how we can spread GPMS here in Uganda. As you know, Uganda, we are not well off. Our government cannot be clear or give clear information about how local people are suffering. People are suffering here in Uganda, but if you talk about something, you can end up in jail. So, my sister, I'm requesting you to at least we have a clear program about GPMS, how we can spread GPMS here in Uganda. Thank you.
Yes, Rick.
Yes, thank you, Brother Joshua. It remains the same. It's simple with GPMS to offer their choice to consent. The one thing I hear from people in the past quite often is that they become afraid that the government or the police will lock them up. But what I need to say is that around the world, you see the protests growing with perhaps some protest a couple million or more. And with that, what I say, you don't see 2 million getting locked up because simply the government and the police does not have the ability to do it, but also if they are to lock anyone up that is spreading the peaceful and ultimate solution for all of humanity, they are acting illegally. If they do it in the moment, if they do lock someone up, there is the divine justice that occurs. So it's only a temporary thing. And I need to make this very clear that the governments that are attempting to stop the ultimate solution worldwide, it's only identifying the darkness itself and identifying the more important reason to gather everyone to lift them out of suffering. So it's nonsensical when you see any acting this way to try to stop a voting process, which is the ultimate full solution for all of humanity. This means that they have a dark agenda, if you will. Now, what I also need to say, and this is in relation also to what the Sister Lodi was sharing, but also what you were sharing, Brother Josh. Um, with the individuals, when they think that they're on an individual ascension, and if they think that they don't need to be compassionate and that they don't need to be selfless and look about the rest of humanity, well, that is a selfish thing that is not in alignment with purity. So if they think they're going to ascend by not supporting what is righteous and what is compassion and all of the good things to do, they make that choice. But what I say, it's so important the choices that ones make because it decides where you go. If you choose not to support humanity and the overall vehicle that does it, this means you are choosing something else just for yourself. And that is selfish, and that is not in alignment with the Ascension Protocol at all. And I will openly say this, any that makes those choices, they do stay behind because everything is energy and your choices are so important. And for every moment that one try to justify an insidious deed like selfishness, you cannot substantiate it because it's not truth. It's not compassion. It is not in alignment with everything right. It is not a good and moral thing to do to think that you are better than anyone else and that you can just go and work on your own ascension and magically disappear. That is not the case. We are in a planetary ascension mode here. This is very real, it's very divine. And to do this, it's to bring everyone together, not separate and try to ascend on their own. And in the Bible, if you will, which is very true, any that tries to go first, they go last if they go at all. So there is very important things with this, and I need to speak this truth as well with all of those, and I have mentioned it years ago. We have had GPMS here for about 5 years now. Many have seen this worldwide, did not act, did not endorse it, did not share it. This has prolonged immense suffering for the last 5 years because of that, because people did not support and consent with it yet. So, what has occurred is great, unprecedented suffering and also great mass genocides, if you will. This is not in alignment with what is right. So people again need to see when you're not supporting the solution, you're still part of that problem. And your choice, if you continue to support the problem, you continue to be part of it. And it keeps getting worse and worse. So again, ones need to look at this. If you're looking right now with the suffering amplifying worldwide, it's because ones are not coming together and making the right choices. And the right choice. And this is very important. I believe I heard something about a radio station in the Philippines with Sister Lodi. With these sort of cases, when you get a radio station not wanting to speak about GPMS, that radio station, its owners, the individuals that were involved in suppressing this freedom and abundant information from humanity, this is a very serious act that is not in alignment with God. It's part of the old system. And these ones need to be identified with their actions, what they're doing. They are causing the suffering by not allowing the people to hear the choice of the solution that stops this. Everyone knows that it's wrong to harm someone and kill someone and deprive someone of food. It's psychopathic. It's nonsense to do it. And anyone that aligns with that is not of God and not in alignment with God. They have an underlying agenda or they're controlled by the darkness. But either one, it doesn't matter. They are not doing the good things. And there is the divine justice where their name will be held up because they're judging themselves by their actions and their deeds. We are in the most serious time ever. And these ones, yes, at times they need to be identified. Look at what you're doing. I mean, anyone on here and watching this, you have the ultimate instantaneous solution for humanity, which can save about 50,000 lives a day And no, they don't want to give that to the people. It's nonsense, but it shows their dark intent or their control of it. Every day, the amount of children that are dying of starvation, which can be instantly prevented with GPMS, is perhaps over 20,000 a day. Children are dying because they don't have food. GPMS can instantly give all of these poor, innocent children food. But it's not only children, it's perhaps now 40 or 50,000 children and adults dying daily just because they don't have food when all of the resources are here in this very instant now to give food to every man, woman, and child on earth. So these things are not acceptable when someone is stopping this from getting to humanity. Divine GPMS is the way the divine plan, the ascension, is being done. It's by bringing everyone together and to lawfully secure it into full divine law. It's why it's being done as a consent, and every consent is so important at ratifying this to eradicate the darkness forever in on earth and in this realm. So anyone that's not in alignment with divine GPMS and that will badmouth it or tell lies, I would suggest for each one of you, whenever you come across any of those, to look a little deeper at what is their actual intent. Are they authentic? Are they genuine? If they're genuine, why are they lying? Look at Divine GPMS. It's all inclusive. There are no cracks in it. It's to uplift all of humanity. It's all people working together. There is no hierarchy. It's giving the people the solution in every country worldwide to do this themselves. So there is no justification whatsoever from anyone attempting to diminish GPMS or not share it with the world. When you don't share it with the world, look what you're doing. For every day, another 50,000 die of hunger, over 20,000 children. Look at what they are doing. Look at this great harm they are doing when it all can be eradicated instantly. And this is not acceptable. Thank you.
Joshua, what I suggest, because I know that there were some discussion in Uganda, what I suggest is start alone, start yourself. So basically share GPMS, and if others wants to come together and share GPMS, it's great. Then will be a group. If not, share by yourself. Do not be dependable on others. So basically, send. You still have a little bit of internet. When you are looking and you see that you have a little bit more for the that was not consumed for the time, like for the month, just start to look a little bit over the internet on the small companies or uh, people, or and try to send them the message of the website of GPMS and a short message, or try to meet them, and if they have connection in the capital or in a city where there are a lot of people, do the same thing. If you meet people and if they have internet on their cell phone, you do not need a business card because are expensive in Uganda, but you can tell them about the website and just let them to see the website on their cell phone, on their internet. Just tell them, nothing else. So move with things that there is no cost, no money, involved, and start by yourself. So it's not necessary to have somebody to tell you what to do. Think a little bit on your environment and try to figure out what you can do. Then from there, and anytime the group may come together back, and probably there will be no divided. Yes, Rick.
Thank you. Also, Brother Josh, there was a important lawful document that was written up from the desk of GPMS for ones to utilize in Uganda if they got stopped by police or what have you. And this is a lawful document, and it was, at least to my knowledge, I cannot pinpoint right where it's at now, but I believe it was given to Brother Wandera, and perhaps we may have it, Sister Beatrice, in the Telegram Africa group. You may be able to access it there. This is a lawful document. Once it's served, given to any police, it doesn't matter if they continue to, let's say, proceed with arresting one. What occurs again is the justice, because it's a lawful document, even though if they ignore it in the moment, they cannot ignore it later. It brings an important self-judgment upon them, a lawful judgment. So you can utilize this document as well, and to have with you. And that's what we suggested for ones when they're out collecting consents in Uganda, to carry copies of this document to hand to the police. Because really, if the police, what is occurring, it's unlawful for the police to obstruct you, no matter what the Ugandan government may say. If the Ugandan government instructs police to do this, the Ugandan government is also acting unlawful. And again, this is only in the temporary moment, that if the Uganda government tells police to do this, they're acting unlawful. They may get away with it in the moment, but they're not in the future. This is the judgment, and we need to hear about this. This is the same as with Nya and the case with her children in Austria, where we produced all of these lawful documents, where in reality, at this point, because they're all out in the public domain, Austria is in the most serious legal and lawful jeopardy a country ever could be in on earth. And just because they're still ignoring it right in this moment, they cannot going forward, because also these lawful documents that were served, and also commercial liens and invoices, these are all written on the same contract law that the current system uses. So it cannot ignore them. And these liens and official notices has gone worldwide to the World Court, the IMF, I believe, banks worldwide, law firms, countries worldwide, and also one of our most latest notices went to 193 countries of the UN, all of the other countries or territories not part of the UN, all of the major faiths worldwide, and also a selected amount of international media to inform them. And what that was to cease all war immediately, because there was no justification for it, because GPMS is here. And it was given the divine decree and instruction for every government worldwide to proceed with getting GPMS ratified. Whereas we don't see that yet. What it does, it proves the intents of every government worldwide at prolonging this harm. because they had the absolute lawful solution to give to all their people. And if they were proper representatives of the people of their country and working in the best interest of the public like they're supposed to, they would have done this. What it's doing, it's identifying these bad actors, and justice is being served worldwide from a higher divine level because we are in the ascension protocol. And this is the time of the great judgment. And no matter what anyone says, it is real, it is happening. So, again, with that, you may wish to look in the Telegram African group, and you may get that document to utilize and pass them out. This is enough of this foolishness. Just look, Josh. Look in Uganda, all of the suffering, all of the orphan children, and a government wants to stop the solution. What are all the people doing? The people are allowing it. In Uganda, I forget the population, but when 40 million, if that's what it is, or 70 million, when they all stand together as one with GPMS, there is no government or police force that would stand against them because there is no government that can give to police or even themselves what GPMS can do. It's the full happiness and full abundance. So a government cannot buy a military or a police if they are human souls, because divine GPMS fully secures every police and every soldier and their family forever and ever. And it would be nonsense for the police and military, when they are the few, to go against what is for humanity. So it's just gathering the people, and you don't need to be violent at all. You just gather the huge numbers of the people because the majority rules. And when the people, the majority, have the full solution in their hands, all children are saved from this punishment and death that the system is causing upon them. So again, how I'll stop there. Thank you.
Brother Ricky, it is truly what you are talking about, but here in Uganda, really, the children, the orphans are suffering. So, what I wanted to say this: if we come together as one person, as unity, all people, all members who are working in government constitutions can see how we are raising GPMS here in Uganda, because as we, as directors of orphanages, we have many problems we are facing here in Uganda. As if you go to those local government offices seeking for some support or some help for these orphanages, they just tell you we have nothing like for the orphanages. Yet people are suffering. We can't do. Those orphanages have no problem. It was not their problem to lose their parents, but people are suffering. Children are suffering. Even getting education here in Uganda, it's also a big problem. Even daily food, even to get some clothes, it is a big problem here in Uganda. So my brother Rick, we need to come up with at least a clear a program about GPMS, and the government will see what we are doing, and maybe one time, one day, we can get change in the community. Thank you.
Brother Joshua, your government already knows about GPMS. When I said we emailed out those lawful notices, Uganda had got it, but this is not the only notice that Uganda got. And what I'm saying these ones in the Uganda government could have already done GPMS for all of your people. And this is what I say with any country. Once the majority of the people decides it, the government has to do it. But what we did is we gave the solution directly to your Uganda government. They decided not to do it, as you see. This means that all of the people to save the children and all of you in Uganda, you have to unite. There is no other choice. The longer that everyone worldwide continues with what's occurring, things are becoming more expensive. People all over the world, Joshua, not only is it happening in Uganda, it is worldwide what is occurring. And the people, the only solution is for the people to come all together with the solution. Choices have to be made. Are you going to sit silently there while 10,000, 20,000 children die a day? If this continues, the numbers are rising. There would not be humanity left. So it becomes nonsense. Are you going to allow yourself to get kinged off one by one, or 10 or 20 or 50,000 a day? Are you going to continue to allow that when you have the absolute solution? That becomes nonsense. So the entire world is struggling now, and they need to make the choice. And Divine GPMS is it, with everything that they need. So it's not about GPMS being a charity organization giving money to the entire world. No, it's not about that. Let me say, we could do that in the blink of an eye, but this is not Father Prime Creator's plan. What he wants is for everyone to consent to ratify it worldwide into law. And we don't have time to educate all of humanity with higher consciousness. Divine GPMS comes from the great compassion and mercy of God, the solution. He has given you the warnings with all of the disasters, famines, floods, meteorites, civil unrest, if you will. So you have all the signs. This is very real. It's happening worldwide. However, at the same time, he is giving everyone the opportunity from his great mercy and great compassion, giving everyone a simple, logical choice to vote in a voting process, because all of the world, whether they're awake or not, they know what a voting process is, and simply a majority rules. And that's why it's been delivered this way. Believe me, and believe all of us that are ascending, if we didn't need to do this, we wouldn't even be here. We'd already be ascended. But the reason is that this is a worldwide planetary ascension. And all of humanity has to be active and proactive in consenting this to ratify it into full law. This is what eradicates evil and darkness from your world and all suffering. So to present it to the people, I just gave it to you. You ask the people, do you want this new world where no more suffering, no more poverty, no more enslavement, where you're free? And if they say yes, then you say consent to GPMS, because we are collecting the worldwide vote. And once we have the majority, the people rule. It doesn't matter what 200 individual country leaders say, because they have no power and no authority over 6 billion people. But also, these 200 leaders have no choice if they're working in the public's best interest to endorse GPMS and to give it to their people. But it's obvious that no, they're not in the public's interest. But it doesn't matter. And it becomes foolish to allow 200 people to decide the suffering and fate of 6 billion to 8 billion people. That is nonsense. That is insane. It is sick. So again, you just give it to the people. Do you want the new and free world, abundant world? And if you do, then consent. Give your details so we can get this done now. And as I said before, you can give them that over 20,000 children are dying a day. The longer you wait at giving your consent for every day, another 20 or 30,000 children die, which could have been saved. Every vote counts. Every child's vote, a child 1 minute old, becomes the moral obligation of the parents to ensure that child's future into full abundance and freedom rather than in a deprived world of poverty and suffering. It becomes a moral obligation of every parent to secure their child's future. And because of that, they consent for their children as well. But not only that, we've had, to my knowledge, children as young as 7 years old actually consented themselves. And we've had younger children, when asked, Nya's children, I believe they were 4 and 6 years old or what have you, she verbally asked them, and they said yes, verbally. They gave their consent because most children worldwide know that they're not to grow up in a suffering world, a sick world like this. They already know in their beautiful, innocent hearts that they're not here to suffer. They're here to be in this abundant, thriving, free world. And it's the responsibility of every adult on earth to consent with GPMS and every parent to ensure that their children's future is aligned with the heaven on earth rather than this hellish world that you have here now. It becomes a no-brainer choice. So what type of a presentation do you want? I just give it to you in 2 or 3 sentences. Just put it all together. It's all you need. Once one verbally agrees with it, a verbal consent is a lawful contract. Thank you.
Yes, so I found also the lawful notice to all public officer and police authorities in Uganda. It is also on the pin messages on the account for the representative of Africa and also Uganda. And I share also with Joshua. It is this one right now. Everybody can see. So lawful notice to all public officer and police authorities in Uganda. And it is the affirmation of constitutional rights and lawful protection of GPMS representative. And it is also speaking about the Constitution of Uganda per article, and to contact divine-gpms.world. So this is the one for everyone that wants to become representative in Uganda with GPMS. They can share this with the police, but as Rick said, I remember very well the police, it is very, very informed, especially in your area about GPMS. There is not a problem anymore. The only thing that I can see is that probably the group is not working together at this time, but this should be not a problem, so we can share also individually until a group may come anytime. So don't stop to share GPMS message because the group is not united at this time, or because of past discussion, or forget the past. The most important is the now moment. Then start to share today, and the group will come one day. And probably everyone saw the small beautiful song, we remain united, never divided. So stop any fighting and any discussion from the past. We are not children anymore. We become adults. It's like we have more important things to be done. And we really need GPMS to happen, because everything that I can see with the corporation, and exactly what I spoke with Lodi last night about the radio, that after one meeting started to stop the word of GPMS and try to divert towards other subjects. So this is because of the corporation. So we have the corporation everywhere. We have the corporation also, that the people believe that there are countries. No, they are not. They are private corporation, like Corporation of Canada, Corporation of Uganda, Corporation of Romania. So those that they are a little bit more awake, they started to know they are corporation. So we need to get rid of this corporation. The corporation incorporate. Incorporate for what? You do not need that. So the true freedom, it's the end of the corporation. And the corporation, it's also a pyramid scheme where a owner, it's all the time earning more than others that are working for that company. So this is not about equality. And this is the reason that we have today poverty. So we end poverty and slavery with GPMS. We do not need another one above another one. Yes, it is a pyramid that exists on earth, but this is the spiritual pyramid. This is something very different. The people that they can see more than others, because they are very, very spiritual beings. So, and develop and everything. But this is very different. This is about the light. But on the society, on the system, how we are saying today, we need to be recognized as equal before the law, and we need to get rid of all artificial, and I'm speaking about the law first, the artificial law as common law and civil law. So when we get rid of that, we cannot have corporation anymore. No corporation invoke as countries. Countries that have borders. This is another false and another artificial borders. So we need to get rid of corporation and to get back to where we are, to remember who we are, and to come with universal laws, do no harm, to accept them. So Joshua, you are not alone spreading the word of GPMS. You may be probably in a few number in Uganda, but all of us that you can see here, we spread the word of GPMS in the places where we are, like Germany, Canada, Brazil, Philippines, United Kingdom, Romania, so where we can. And also we are active on the internet as weekly meeting, especially for GPMS word to be shared and to come together as many as possible. So you are not alone there. Just please continue to share the message of GPMS as you shared before. Yes, Rick.
Thank you. A little bit with law, what you would imagine on Earth as international law, believing that perhaps it's the highest. It's not. The law of GPMS is the highest. Also, going back to international law, it's not fully ratified by all of the nations of the world. So this is why it's not a law, and this is also why you have wars in these certain things going on. All that international law is just a guise and a cover to keep the existing system that causes harm and suffering in place. And that is not law at all. Divine GPMS is absolute law. It is the highest law of do no harm. And because of that, it supports and gives the entire system to the people where no harm can happen because it's fully ratified by everyone not to do so, but also it creates the environment where no harm occurs because there is no reason for harm. So, what you look at as international law, it's not law at all. When you look at your national law in each one of your countries, it's not law at all. They give you a constitution, but the judicial system in every country turns your rights into permissions. And then you have ones in governments deciding if you have a certain right or not. It's all part of the old system of control, enslavement, and suffering. And it's absolutely ridiculous. But again, with the law, there is no higher law on earth than divine law with gpms.world because it does what law is supposed to do, and that is to protect the security of every individual and uphold their unalienable rights. This is already written on earth, but the problem is that it was not upheld with the unalienable rights because the intent is to create the illusion that you have rights. But then their judicial systems and with the corporations, if you want, begins to take everything away with a sleight of the hand because they are the masters of deception, of darkness to keep humanity in a suffering paradigm. So really and truly, the only the only thing that is law on earth right now is divine GPMS. The rest of it is not what you call law because it does not secure the individual's existence and reality. It allows war to come in to harm. It allows suffering to come in to harm. Law does not harm. So where it does that, it shows you there is not law. That divine GPMS is law. It is true law. And this is also why any government like Uganda cannot go against it. They cannot contest it because they fall into contradiction. And within law, there is the law of contradiction that you cannot tell people that they have all of these rights and then turn them into permissions. That is unlawful. And that is why it takes all of your other laws worldwide as not being law at all. They're actually the opposite. They're unlawful and they're designed to create harm, suffering, enslavement, and all of those things. And until the people choose, if they have enough time, those that have been reluctant to choose the higher law, they are going to suffer more and more and more. And I've said this a few years ago. It was going to get worse and worse because ones were not choosing their freedom, their abundance, their law, their true law, and their authority. They were allowing the system to control them into suffering, fear, lack, even death. So when I say this, It is actually not the 200 governments worldwide that are to blame. It's the actual people themselves, because they have the full lawful instrument and solution here. But if the people don't choose it, they are inflicting the suffering upon themselves. And this is the truth. And that's when every individual has to look at, what are you supporting? What are you doing? For the first time ever, you have the ultimate solution. Why are you not choosing it? Why are you allowing for children, 20 or 30,000 or more, to die daily of starvation? Are you humane? Are you moral? What are you? Are you a divine soul? Do you believe in God? Or do you believe in suffering, shame, enslavement, and torture? What are you aligned with? Is your name going to go forward in history, if it does exist for you? That you were someone that prolonged the suffering, that you didn't make the higher right and moral choice to do what is right and save these innocent children? Every day that one prolongs and hesitates, when we put the divine message out of divine GPMS on all these social medias, every time that someone will just look at it and scroll past, another child vanishes or dies. Now, I've been speaking about how many children die a day of hunger. And I need to add in here that the children that are just vanishing every day, those numbers are much bigger. And this is the child trafficking, the satanic things that is occurring. And what I say to every family worldwide, because this is truth, the longer you allow this old system to remain intact, your children are becoming more and more endangered by the moment, because this old system has the monetary incentive to control ones to looking at child trafficking as lucrative. GPMS World eradicates all of that because everyone has money. There is no reason to be bought by the darkness to take children. No one can be bought in the divine GPMS world to do any harm. It is the heaven on earth, and harm has to be eradicated now. And it's up to every individual to choose this, not to go and separate themselves somewheres, and not to think that you're and just sit around and ascend. That's not how it works. That is not truth. That is a lie if you think that. Um, oh, also, one quick thing. We are looking at a contribution pool that is set up by the GPMS members themselves. We're still working on getting it set up, and we're also having perhaps on that same platform that GPMS members are creating. It's not GPMS itself. So there'll be places there for all of the members to unite. And um, also with this, we're still working on this website to get it up, and it's where beautiful souls wish to contribute to a pool to assist with missionaries that want to honestly and genuinely go out and gather consents, what have you. And it's a membership area, and also what we're going to have in it is a different chat threads with a bulletin board so everyone can connect all in this one place. And it's also possible as a result, we will not require the Telegram country group. So we can, I believe, put it all together here in the one place where all of the members can congregate. And also with this, what I received from Father today, I haven't mentioned this to anyone else. Also on the membership website, what we'll have in the bulletin board, you'll have a chat thread for announcements so everyone is up to date. And also, you can have ones with Sister Max wanted meditation one, so she can offer meditations in there. And also, we'll have chat threads where in the ascending higher consciousness world, one of the great labels is twin flames. And there are many that are, let's say, still not united with their divine consort, but also we can provision a twin flame group where individuals can perhaps their twin flame is a member of GPMS, and you can also bring more together in these beautiful relationships, because this is what GPMS is about, bringing the masculine and feminine together and bringing the family unit all back together as well. So it does all of these things. So we have that. We're still working on it and taking that forward. And so that's yes. And beautiful Sister Agnes is also working on some additions we'll be putting on the website, and any other divine feminine that can speak good and clearly. Um, we also, you may do ones as well, so that we have these videos on our landing page. They have important messages, and also we'll have them in our membership area that ones can also use these as resources to share on social media as well. So just informing ones that we're also working on that, and also an important provisioning of equality. Just let me look. What did I call this? It is, yes, equality and goodness. And this is an important statement that oh, there I am up there. This is an important statement we'll also be putting on both our GPMS landing page and membership and contribution pool area. And this is equality and goodness. Now, I need to expand a little bit upon this because this is important. What you have seen on social media worldwide, you'll see ones that says we are all one. However, there is some of the negative connotation that ones think that you are one with the evil. And no, you are not. You are different. But also with hi Bertie. But also with this is the way that GPMS maintains a divine order is through equality of goodness. What this means that if someone is attacking one or not in alignment with goodness, then they are not equal in goodness, and they cannot remain within GPMS or into the membership area. So it's the individual judges theirself. So it's not another authority that will judge one. They judge theirself by their actions, because we are equality in goodness, not any darkness, not attacking ones. We're about harmony and working together with all of the good core values. And if anyone comes in attacking someone, that's not equality, And it also provisions the authority to ban them instantly out of, let's say, the membership group or any of our other groups. No questions asked. If they attack and provoke someone, they break their oath of equality and goodness. So I wanted to make that clear for everyone as well, and it is the important divine law. It is a part of it. It's not acceptable for ones to harm another, and that includes personal attacks or what have you. Everyone is to work together. If someone becomes irrational, that is not equality and goodness. It's that simple. We are working together, and that's what we are doing for the new world, the harmonious world, where everyone is working together in good harmony, good joy, abundance, and sharing and living a beautiful existence here on earth, not enslaved to 40, 60 hours of working a week to survive. You only need to contribute perhaps 4 to 10 hours a week just to contribute to the worldwide community. Look at all the time you have then for your families to raise your children and all of the joy and happiness. And this is not just a vision. It is real. It's happening. And as you can see with every consent that agrees with it, this is the new world, and this is what everyone is going to be living in that makes it. And it's that simple. Thank you. And great to see Sister Nicole joined.
Yes, hi. Yeah, so Agnes from Germany, what is happening with GPMS there? How the people react to the divine law if when you are telling them about it?
Oh, thank you. Hello. So the most people when I met someone like today, they're open, and I have always nice conversation. I learn a little bit always from them, like today, and yes, I hope I will have more quiet time next week. So this was very short today, and yeah, so I'm sharing and walking what Rick's told about, and I'm very grateful that we are growing and the nature is growing, so it also gives a lot of energy and power to see how it can work. The nature show us, and it's also a bird, yeah, a dove, yeah. Yes, I hope I have next week more to talk about. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Also, from my side, when I share, it is amazing, but still not yet the number of the consents coming. But I really hope that the people will see more and more video and they will understand what it is GPMS, then they will come. So ever soon, what is happening in Brazil, I saw some consents coming from there.
Last Friday, I met a lady in my workplace. We're talking about problems, day-to-day problems. And I offered to talk about Divine-gpms, and she gave her consent graciously, fast, no discussion. I'm aligned with God. Okay, I give my consent. Yeah, and I was wondering how easy for once this choice it's made, and for others, there are so many problems, barriers. Oh, let me think. It's so easy when your heart is open. Just give a consent. Yes, I'm aligned with God. Just that easy. And it's amazing. I was grateful for her. And um, it's amazing how different people react to their choices. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nat, what is happening in UK? I saw also concerns coming that it's a team stronger.
Yeah, I think they're trickling in. It's interesting because what I'm finding is I even a consent came in from France yesterday, someone I actually engaged with just in conversation on a group chat, which was regarding like health truths and things like this. And I could instantly tell this person is just so aligned. And so straight away, I introduced Divine GPMS, and I actually got. So what I'm finding is because in the UK, we have a lot of the authoritarian kind of totalitarian regime is happening, and with online in particular, like we're really highly censored, and they've put now to try to gather biometric data and people's towards digital ID. There is certain areas of things I cannot access, or posts and things, even on Substack, where I cannot reply. I cannot send private messages, direct messages without age verification. They want your ID, they want proof of person and all the rest of it. So it is there's a lot of restrictions there in place for obvious reasons. However, so I'm having to really think outside of the box and go like back ways around things and find routes in to actually reach and connect with people. And so I'm finding these ways and means, and again, just following the inspiration as it comes. But it is meaning that I'm then connecting with people from other countries in some of these groups. So like yesterday, I know someone from France, like signed up immediately, and it was like, wow, this is amazing actually. So, and someone else from Nigeria from another group signed up. So even though they're not necessarily all coming from the UK, they are coming in drips, and I am still very much targeting as well where I can people who I know have a platform, who actually have like a following, whereby if I can manage to get a message across in a comment or a reply to something where their following is going to see it, and then it's going to capture people's attention. So, and been having some really positive responses from that. But just like Everson said, you know, I also find the same thing. It's fascinating how when someone's heart is open and they're aligned, it's just so easy. And then you have a whole different set of individuals who then are clearly still very stuck in their own sort of day to day. And I'm holding the conversation, you know, just gently and still persisting, you know, going back in again, trying a different route around, just to get the message out there. Because even if it's not the individual that you're speaking with in the moment, that's then there, it's out in the field, isn't it? You know, we're trying to get that message out there, other eyes will fall on it, and the consents will come. So it literally is just about persisting, not being deterred. And also it's fascinating because you start to pick up as well on what are the barriers for people, you know, how else can I lead in, you know, how can we overcome these things. So it's a daily, it's literally, it's a every day. Where else can this go? Where else can we get this conversation opened up? So yes, fingers crossed, we will start to see many more rolling in. It is the daily work, and I feel really optimistic. I also have been managing to seek out and connect with other groups, other organizations who are kind of in their consciousness, in the ascension work. I feel, and this is, this is a feeling, and at the same time, I'm keeping my heart open and I'm projecting out that everybody is the best that they can be. I feel one barrier that there is for some, even in the world of working with people towards ascension, is that they have a monetary, in other words, it's being monetized, isn't it? So people are offering services, people are offering, memberships or whatever it is, and there's that monetary hook. And I feel that is that if we can find a way to unhook that one thread from people very easily, if someone finds a way to like really address that clearly these people's hearts are in the right place, and at the same time, are they going to share this knowledge with their base, or are they going to protect their now 3D income because this is what they do for a living? So yeah, it's a tough one, but like I say, my perspective on it is I have faith that you will know what is the right thing to do, and that you will take right action, that you will listen with your heart, and that you will follow your inner guidance and make the right choices here, that you have a base of people who you connect with, and that you will want to share this knowledge, because this is how we do it. This is how we create the shift. So if we're working towards the shift, let's create the shift. When the shift comes, we don't anymore need to protect anything, because we'll all be okay. Everyone will be okay. And I think for some, it's coming out of the mindset of the self, very much like, I need to mind my own back, and I need to make sure, like, oh, what if the government takes my pension from me? Well, it won't matter because we'll all have everything that we need. But obviously, people still have these fears, and it's finding ways then to support people through that and overcome them. So yeah, that's where I'm at. As I say, every day more inspiration comes. Just keep following that trail and getting the message out there. So as I know you all are doing too. So thank you everyone for all the work that you're all doing, and you're amazing human beings. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you so much, Nat. Serhi from Canada. Hi, brother. So,
Hi everyone.
what is happening in Canada when you share GPMS message?
Yeah, I'm sharing whatever I see on the highway, somewhere to the drivers, somewhere to the shippers and loaders. Yeah, they're interesting, but I don't see much excitement. Maybe some other countries have much excitement and just acceptance. But in here, still people are looking, but not having a lot of attention. But anyway, some kind of protest is coming, and I see a good notice that people not even interested in the protest. It's like in May, Ontario and Canada supposed to be truckers supposed to close the highways. Do the same what the Ireland people doing, but I don't see big, I don't know, resistance or attentions to do it. It's everybody just whatever. You guys planning something, we are not interested. It's it's good sign, because people already tired to all of this kind of protests. It's doing nothing, just waste of your time, waste of your energy, and nothing. Whatever you're gonna protest, it's not gonna be done anyway. So why it's spend the time to do it? It's a better time to go to the website and just vote. That's all. But still, people, it's I don't know, blind or looking for someone who can do it for them, not by themselves. Yeah, we'll see. It's every day. Yeah, we are trying to do something, but we'll see. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Serhi. So, for the people that can see for the first time our GPMS meeting, and they still cannot see what it is happening with the artificial law versus the divine law, because we are here to implement the universal laws do no harm, and why it's so important. I will give for one example or two maximum. So one example, I started to know about the long-term disability program that it's happening on the province where I'm living in Alberta, Canada. And the people that they were found with severe invalidity before, right now they shift in another program where they will lose the money per month. So basically right now they will be considered deemed to work, even that the government still consider them with severe invalidity. So this is huge for me. And when they are deemed for work, so they will do not have the money per month. And some of part of them, I listened yesterday, they are saying we'll go towards the suicide because it's not possible to live anymore. So especially those that they have no family support, and even with the family support, they were not able to survive with the amount per month. But right now, they are just told that maybe they'll have nothing. So in a couple of weeks or months. This is huge. For example, with this is artificial law, common law, how the politician, this is why I do not trust the politician, how the politician are changing things, killing the people. And a divine law where we create abundance, where there is no homeless, no poverty, nothing. And we have a right to the good medication, like natural products and everything needed, and we'll have the true good also performant healing, like new technology that will come and everything that will be implemented with GPMS and will be given for free for everyone. So this is a huge difference. Or another one, for example, right now, because we are during the system collapse that started in the United States and also touch a lot Canada, for example, for the housing. The housing was all the time considered like equity or asset. Then the artificial, the value, it is the value that the market recognized, but the market was in an artificial environment. Then the prices rises, and the people believe that this is the way, and they back also part of their financement and everything on this value that rise, and they get more debt and debt. Right now what is happening, it is during the collapse, the price is going down, that they found no value, no equity on the house, but at the same time those that they still have some equity, so rise value artificially. Right now, the system, it's working through the property taxes to get the money from them, so-called the deemed sold, that it is not a real one. So they do not touch the money, they sell nothing. But just because they have the value there is a value considered now more on the property tax to pay, and some started to have thousands of dollars to pay. And I saw also, for example, more than $100,000 per year for some properties to pay on the property taxes. And six, because of this environment created right now, the people started to think we do not need the property taxes. This is not correct, but they are still on the moving on the system because they still believe that the people need to find a way to finance some public services or something. Then they still need to gather from some part of services taxes from somewhere, but not from the property taxes, because right now they started to see the game inside of the property taxes and inside of the house, that the house was not considered essential, was considered assets or equity. then basically what I would say, this is the trap, this is the game with artificial law, with natural law, with universal laws, do no harm, there is no homeless, the housing is coming good with everything needed, and it's coming also for free if necessary, and it's nothing about having assets or be recognized as equity. The house, it is essential. So there are a lot of differences. I gave only two of them, but there are a lot, and the people may come and to speak with us. We are on weekly meeting. Then if they have question about how to solve the situation, come with GPMS, because the money is unlimited and the limited money is basically fraud. Yes, Rick.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Beatrice. Yeah, everything you spoke about is the controlled enslavement system based on greed and all of those unnecessary things. So you can, yeah, as we say, you just put it in one garbage bag and put it out on the curb. It's all trash, and just take GPMS and get this done sooner than later. Also interesting what you brought up. Yes, you can see how the government of Canada is attempting to inflict more harm, more serious harm upon disabled ones by forcing them to work when they cannot. And this is absolutely ludicrous, and it is also contradictory with their system at forcing and endangering a disabled one into some employment and occupation of which their public health service would have to pay for as well. So you get all of these contradictions in any way you look at it. It is not competent. It doesn't make sense. And where you have what is supposed to be officials and representatives making up these contradictory laws, you become to see that it is intentional, that there is the underlying intent with it. It's not to protect the people and uphold the public interest. It is actually to create harm, suffering, and serious injury and death. And this is not a lawful system, once again. So there is no law in Canada other than the absolute divine GPMS law that is being substantiated by those in Canada that are um, joining. And again, and this is one of the reasons why the current artificial laws cannot stand up. It cannot contest, it cannot compose the entirety of what divine GPMS is, because divine GPMS is absolute sense, where the artificial legal systems are nonsense. They're nonsensical, but they're also created to cause harm. What I wish to say, and I'm going to touch on the digital ID and bank account as well. Perhaps I'll go right into that right now. So, what you're seeing by the old paradigms, the old power regimes of control, if you will, with such things as digital IDs. But I'm going to take it a little further with your bank accounts. With all of your digital bank accounts worldwide, uh, you actually do not own those, and you do not own the money in it. And let's say for many decades, what is in the fine print within any government structure is that, to my knowledge, they say that they only need to give you 10% of the funds that you have in your account. So this is provision in your, if you look at your digital bank accounts in Canada, if a government declares that it needs money, it can actually take, because they already have it written in law in Canada, 90% of your money out of there. But what this shows is that you have a digital bank account, but you don't have the control of it and you don't own it. And when we look at Denmark a few years ago, they were sending out to all of their customers, the banks in Denmark, for their customers to sign a waiver to give the government the full permission to go into their accounts and take money out or what have you. When you take this a step further with digital ID and also digital bank accounts, um, being fully in the hands of governments and the banks, what you see is full control over you, meaning that in any second, your bank account can go offline or it can be lowered to zero. And it's written in the artificial laws for them to do this worldwide. It is done. It has happened numerous times in Crete, if you will, in Greece, in Argentina, um, many areas, but also in Canada when you saw protesters that were getting money for fuel, that the account got seized by the government. So they just take the money. But this is all about the dangerous control, what the darkness is doing worldwide. They're limiting, at the same time, they are limiting the access to everyone's money. So they are setting it up. You can see it's an underlying plan that is not in the best interests of humanity at all. Because again, you can clearly see it without me going more into that. Um, so, yes, you do not own your bank account. Anyone worldwide that has a digital bank account, it's not yours. And it's important to know that because it resides on the internet that the governments control and on servers that they control. So any digital money is not yours. It's actually theirs because they created it. And this is also why it's so important for all of humanity to come together with Divine GPMS and create our money that's shared equally with all to do the good, right things and to get humanity out of that trap and into the place where you don't need money at all. So you're seeing a two-pronged approach now with, let's say, the darkness, with the great inflation that is compressing humanity further. But you also see with that, along with that compression, that the bank accounts also being controlled. So humanity, what are you left with in a world where you need money, but it's taken from you by the governments? What this means is that you become the slaves, that you are at the full mercy of these ones in power. And this is the enslavement by the darkness. And this is also connected with the attempts of martial law with the US and Israel and all of these things they were doing. It is the dark army, it is the darkness. And also with their false narratives, that is the dark narratives of Nasara and Jacera. These things are designed to keep people in complacency while the darkness carried out their big plan, all the time keeping you focused on a false hope while they were setting the whole stage up for them to control you. And again, there's been more than one mass genocide attempt worldwide on humanity. How many more signs do you need to see with this before you get the picture that you have to stand? You have to stand with Divine GPMS. You have to take the righteous and lawful ownership of the internet worldwide and also the digital monetary system. This is your only freedom. Nothing else works. And you can see it happening right now. And it's all about control, but it's very sinister. It runs very deep. And what I would say is that if it continues, if it were to continue, what every one of you would find yourself as would be a slave digging in some mines for darkness or doing something else and only given a morsel of food a day, taking your beautiful eggs from you, taking your semen from you to produce more slaves in labs. You need to know what the darkness had in store, but at the same time, you need to know what heaven has in store, and that the light is very powerful upon the planet, and your exit from your enslavement is Divine-gpms.world. And it's a simple choice where it only takes you 2 to 3 minutes to fill out a consent. And if you've got auto scroll, you can do it in a couple seconds. So what are you waiting for? We need every vote right now. It's absolute nonsense to allow this system to continue that's killing more and more every day and squeezing everyone into a submission. That's absolute nonsense. You cannot adapt to that environment. Yes, you can adapt to being a slave and dying, but what's the point of that when you have the most glorious point of the new world to create that altogether? So you don't need to be a rocket scientist. You don't need to be an adult to understand what I'm saying. Children knows this. This is why your children are revolting at going to schools and what have you. It doesn't resonate with them because it's not part of the future and they know that it's wrong. They are not going to school to be conditioned to be slaves to a society that is harming them, that is cruel. They already have it embedded within their hearts and their souls to know that it's not right. And these innocent children are looking up to all of the adults worldwide to take action, to support them and do what is right. So these are the stark truths. Ones don't want to hear it, but it is the truth. It's in your face. You cannot ignore it and you cannot deny what I'm saying. Anyone that may be skeptic or has some doubt, take a little bit of time, take a day off and do your own research on everything I said, and you may be astounded that you can confirm everything with much more than what I've said. You'd be able to do much greater things at bringing even more testimony and evidence out. But here is the thing. It's all out there. How much more do you need to know? All you need to know is you have to make the decision and the choice to change your world now and gather with your brothers and sisters with Divine GPMS. So we bring this in. I would not be sitting here today, and none of you, if we did not have divine authority and divine backing to do this. We wouldn't have, pardon the pun, a prayer in hell if we were totally subjugated to the power of darkness. No, we're not. We are not dark. We are the light, and God is omnipotent. And we already won. We're clinching the win by ratifying the win into full law worldwide. So with this, I also wanted to say, also with Brother Rangi that has joined Divine GPMS, he is also at protecting not only the children, but the parents that have had their children unlawfully taken from them, in Europe and the UK, and it's absolutely not acceptable. I had numbers of 83,000 children alone in the UK vanished in 2024, but I believe the numbers are increasing and are much more than that. And again, none of your children are safe no matter where you are in the world. You might be what you think is a happy family with millions in the bank. But let me just say that as children on this earth become less and less because fertility rates are dropping, any children that are still here, as long as this current system remains, are at incredible raising risk. They're at incredible endangerment. You need to understand that when less and less children are born and more are also dying, these children, that when you have a chain supply and a demand chain from a dark, sinister market that traffics and steals children, that you have a very serious problem that is increasing every day. So with Brother Rangi, he's, to my understanding, out in the field and beginning to meet with ones over Europe in the near future, but he'll also be equipped with higher laws from Divine GPMS. And these are laws that are absolute laws, but it also renders artificial laws useless because they cannot compose or they cannot oppose what these laws are because they already have these founding principles in their laws. So they need to abide by them when they're subjected with them as well. And again, as I mentioned earlier with Austria, Austria is actually handcuffed. They're in the most serious legal and lawful jeopardy um, in respect to what has been occurring by any country ever known. And this is setting a huge precedent, whether they recognize it yet or not. Justice is here and justice is coming, but it's not for us to be violent against those because they decide their own judgment. It is their self judgment. And when you have a few in the Austrian government, that when you have a population of perhaps 6 million that can see what these few did, that is their judgment at least becoming reclusive, where they cannot remain in a society. So their fate is decided by making the wrong decisions and not doing what is righteous and what is just. However, also, God is very real, and we are in those judgment and sentencing days. If this was not true, you would not see this great awakening happening worldwide with all of the brothers and sisters standing up and exposing all of these serious things that were occurring. You can use the Epstein files, if you will, but that's only a very slight tip of the iceberg of what was actually occurring. But even with the Epstein files, it's more than enough to show all of the bad actors in the higher places. It's all dissolving, all of the governments. It cannot be substantiated. Everyone needs to make a choice so we maintain a divine order and so that we eradicate any violence as well. We are in a very critical point, and the sooner we get Divine-gpms.world done, we eradicate much violence with this and much harm and possibly much death due to the civil unrests worldwide. When the people in any country like the US, if the US military was to go in to that population, even attempting at maintain a martial control, they are not going to be successful. The people are already standing. They are not going to allow it. There will be great violence unless we get Divine-gpms.world done as soon as possible. So everyone needs to know the real stark reality of the situation worldwide, and you can no longer be complacent. You need to be active, you need to be proactive, you need to gather the brothers and sisters worldwide. All what you think is human on earth are not. You have many dark ones in human bodies, and also you do have other life forms that are in human bodies that are not human. They do not have a soul, they do not have a heart. Their intent is to cause incredible harm. They cannot be changed. And this is what goes back with what I said about no, you are not all one with these darkness. That is not the truth. We are light. There is the huge difference. The darkness can never change what they were and what they are, but we don't need to change them or even attempt to try something that's impossible. We just do the opposite. We gather all of the good ones together, and with the great backing, mercy, and compassion of God, we create the world where darkness cannot exist any longer. And all of your children, all of your families are safe. You are safe and beyond anything in good ways that you ever knew. And with this, and with what Sister Nat said, yes, what I picked up, people are becoming more responsive to divine GPMS because they have no choice. This is the thing. They have no other choice now. All of their trials and errors, what they tried and attempted to do, are not working. It's like Brother Sergey said, they're not protesting anymore because they reached that level to know that it's no use to do it. So now they are being more responsive to GPMS and knowing that it's the only solution. So all of you out there, keep spreading the word, keep getting it out there. They're becoming now more responsive because they went through their tests and their trials and tribulations at realizing nothing can be done within the old system. An entirely new, all-inclusive, supportive system has to be chosen. And you know what? The beauty of that is it's already here in this turmoil for them. They can see the light. It's right here. They can see the light and they can touch it because it's already here on the internet. And when they put their consent in, they can touch it. It's real and they can feel what it's doing. And from that inner knowing, they know that. Now, about several days ago, whenever that was, quite possibly 7 days, but um, the Holy Spirit, everything is energy, everything is real and also creator, as we all know, Mother and Father God. You would not have female on this planet if Mother God was not real, if you will. So, Mother and Father God is very real, and the masculine and the feminine are the likeness of God and the representation of that. In the past, with the patriarchal domination that was actually led by the darkness, was to separate and control the feminine from the masculine. And what I need to say, Mother and Father God are very real and are both, and all brothers and sisters in Divine GPMS are representatives of both sides of creation. So creation is not just Father God, it's Mother as well. And one of the greatest aspects and proofs of Mother is what we have here on Earth, the entire Gaia, entire Earth herself, and also the important special creation and contribution of life that our feminine provides to this reality. Men do not have babies. The feminine is what creates and brings the life into this world, and is very important, and most certainly the mother aspect of God. So both are real. Now, with this, about several days ago, uh, increased energetics, and um, perhaps, and it should be most all of you have noticed that something shifted several days ago, that the density that was felt began to alleviate, began to lift. And part of this, because what is being administered um, to Earth at this time is the divine energetics, which involves the Holy Spirit. Now, we'll call it the Holy Spirit because most recognizes this energetic change that does great wonders and miracles as the Holy Spirit. But what's occurring is that the Holy Spirit energetics is released in the air that you breathe and in the living, running waters, because it's so important with the elements, if you will, and they do play the utmost role in all life. And when you look at helium and hydrogen, these are some of the founding molecules, and oxygen, of course, of all life, what is needed to sustain it. And these life forces come from God, from the Holy Spirit. So these molecules of water and oxygen, and of course the nitrogen part of oxygen is also important as well to your physical humanoid organic vessels. It's being enhanced. So the Holy Spirit has been integrated and is being more widely spread through the living, running, fresh waters and salt water, but not your water from your taps. And it's also in the air that you're breathing. And it is magical air. And it's important for all of you at times, if you feel a nice higher frequency, just take a quick breath in and you'll feel how it's much colder than what the actual air temperature is. And that is for two reasons. It's higher enhanced with the Holy Spirit, but also your crystalline process has been advancing incredibly. And many are reporting the sticky nectar substance as well in their hands. This is a real confirmation. So the crystalline process is not a fantasy. It's very real, with crystals coming out of one's bodies and nectar. This is all connected to the evolving anatomy of a human vessel. It's no longer human. It has evolved enough with the upgrades that comes in from your central sun. Your DNA is restranding, it's unstranding, then restranding. All of these things are very important, and that's why I teach for ones do not have meat or birds in your body. Do not eat it. Your most optimal, highest diet is to go vegetable based or pulse with seeds and beans, and you do not wish to eat any any life like bird or animal that has unconditional love in its programming, in its DNA. Because if you are to eat that, it would be like cannibalistic. But also, when your DNA is restranding, you do not want any contaminants like that in there. You are going beyond what is human and most definitely beyond bird and animal. You do not wish to hinder and regress your process. So you don't want to turn into a bird or an animal. You're going into something much more beautiful and with the great illuminescence and other beautiful things and feeling the energies and the good energies and the higher vibrations. So you're all being prepared to vibrate in that higher frequency world with your physical vessel intact. So it's important you do everything that you can to keep in alignment with that. Yes, it's a process with ones, but as long as more and more have the information, you know what you need to do and you have the instructions to do it yourself. And this is the individual choice of all, but it dictates where you're going to be, what timeline you're going to be on. So it is an important self choice. So, having said this, yes, more of the Holy Spirit is coming in. Anyone that watches this, with also, it's important with the living, running water baptisms for new ones, coming in and getting connected with God, getting connected with Jesus. Jesus is a recognized representative of God. So when you get baptized in the running waters and with that intent and knowing that the Holy Spirit is there, it creates the individual upliftment and remarkable change as well in the individuals and connects them more to God because the intent is there on earth, is here on earth to connect with the Holy Spirit through the living waters and the air that you breathe. And so, what you are also going to see is the higher consciousness, and you're going to see more come into divine GPMS because when the Holy Spirit is breathed into those that are worthy, that are good souls, like about 6 billion on earth, as they keep breathing this in, it raises their consciousness level, and you will see them not wanting to protest anymore, but to do the higher consciousness thing, if you will, and unite and create this beautiful, good world. So it's very real and it's for each one. If they need a confirmation, they will see it themselves. But it's important to believe in it as well. If you don't believe in it, what you do is you separate yourself from the most highest beautiful truth that humanity has ever had the opportunity, perhaps since 2000 years ago, to be part of and enjoy that. So, all of you didn't come here to suffer and have no hope. It's actually The opposite. You are here because you are the hope. Thank you.
We have a question. Amanda Tamasauskas. Can Rick please explain why ones are saying they do not see divine-gpms.org in the Akansic records, therefore they adopt it?
Could you please repeat that question, sister?
Yeah, so it is here.
All right, that's great.
Can Rick please explain why ones are saying they do not see divine-gpms.org in the records, Akansic records, therefore they adopt it?
All right, an excellent question. The Akashic records are records of things that have already transpired from the past. Divine GPMS is new, being put in for this now. So part of your reasoning for that, they would not see it if they were not part of it until now. So when they're given it, it's not recorded because this is new. You are evolving forward. And what I say with anything like Akashic records and soul scripts, everything is being changed here in the linear year 2015. It was very important. There was the divine provision that occurred because it had to be for the ascension, that everyone had the choice in your awakened state to begin to change your soul contract and to make by making higher choices. So that old soul contract restriction was taken divinely out of the way, as well as when you look at the Akashic records, divine GPMS would not be in there because what you're looking at is something of the past. And having said this, what I say to everyone, there is no need to access an Akashic record that also might have been manipulated or controlled. If you're accessing that, what you are doing is you're going backwards or you're hindering or restricting yourself from something new that is being created. This is the first time in this human history and with the Akashic records, if you will, that this has been done. So it's not in your Akashic records because it's not fully here yet. But if you keep such a thing in the future as an Akashic record, you will see it recorded in there as the last thing that did fulfill all prophecy and what have you. So it's ones that get kind of hung up on these restrictive beliefs, but you need to know that we are creating the new and that we're in the now. We're in the now where an Akashic record is being written now. So if that explains it, to everyone. Thank you. An excellent question with that, Amanda, because some ones become conditioned as well by these old concepts and old narratives, and they need to know we're not going back into the past. We are going forward and creating the new and doing what has never been done nor recorded. Your future has not been recorded in an Akashic record. It's not what you think it is.
Yeah, it is not a record yet. So we have more than 2 hours of meeting today, 2 hours and a half, I believe, probably. If somebody wants to add something for today? It is the moment now. If not, I would say thank you so much to everyone that participated today on the meeting. And I really hope to have more representative and guardian for GPMS gathering and spreading the word of GPMS. Then finally we'll be on heaven on earth. We do not deserve this suffering, and this waiting time has to go. So thank you so much to everyone that is here today. And please share the message of GPMS if you wish, also the video, but the message of GPMS, it is the most important.
Excellent last word, sister, for this meeting. Great. And with that, love, light, and gratitude, everyone, and enjoy your day and this week coming up. It's amazing. And I'll stop this live feed.